collect insects from a defined area of the creek or pond that you're looking at, you can use a bucket with no bottom, and you jam that into the substrate, the bottom, and you can just use a small aquarium net to stir up the water that you've got in the bucket and then extract all the aquatic insects that you capture. And this leads to a very repeatable sample, and you can compare across samples because they all came from the same area of the bottom or the same volume of water, and it makes it fairly easy to extract the insects out with just a small aquarium net. You can dump those into a larger bin with some pond or river water, and this larger container allows you to carry the insects up to where you're going to do some sorting and identification, and it also gives a larger volume of water for the insects to move around in case you wanted to study how they move, and you might be looking at them moving, breathing, and interacting with other insects. And so once you've got that sample, there's a variety of containers you could use, household items you might have laying around already, that you can use to partial out that sample of water with insects in it, and you can study it, allow the students to see how these insects behave, how their adaptations allow them to live in that water environment. You can use things like an old pretzel container. This is just a sandwich container. These small clear plastic bins are great. They're very transparent, so you can see insects moving around in the water. And one of my favorite things for handing around insects in water to student groups is these small transparent plastic card cases. You can get these at gaming stores. They're just small transparent closures that snap together, and they are originally for holding playing cards, but they're great for holding these samples, and you can pass them around without worrying about them spilling. Once you have your insects in some of these containers, you can look through to see what you've got. We're going to bring them back to a wet lab to actually do the sorting after this, but you can sort them out a little bit and move them into their own containers, a few insects, and allow you to kind of get a better view of them, see what they look like and how they're moving around in this environment. Some of the water, if it's very murky or has a lot of plant matter in it, it does help to move them into a fresh container with some of the same water, just to see them a little better and to highlight some of the things you're looking at to groups of students. And there we can see we've found several damselfly nymphs in this pond. In that sample we did get a dragonfly nymph, 3 or 4 damselfly nymphs, several dytiscid beetles, which I'm scooping up there, and several different aquatic insects from several different orders of the insects. And once you've got it in one of these containers, you can show students quite easily what you've captured. So a lot of these containers that we're using are things you can just find at dollar stores, or even just lying around in your home or your kitchen or your classroom already. They're quite simple items to use. You don't really need specialized equipment to do aquatic insect sampling. If you just need to get a handle on what is there, to show students some of the things that you've found. So we're consolidating that to bring back to the wet lab.